Hello! So I was requested to record a tutorial on how to play some Nirvana on cello. So I'm going to do this with Come As You Are because in my opinion it's probably one of the easiest songs by Nirvana to play on cello, so I'm going to demonstrate how to do this. As you know, Come As You Are mostly consists of three main patterns. One is this. The other one is this. And finally this. Okay, so let's start with the first one, which mostly consists of this very distinctive bass line. So how to play this? You start with everything in first position. You start with the first finger on the C string with the D note, and then you go there chromatic, one finger after another, and then open G string, okay, and then downwards. And then here you have to bar two strings at a time to get the fifth. And here we go again. So slowly. Okay, so for the guitar parts, that's easy. There's no guitar part in this section of the song. For the drums. So, how to play drums on cello? The way that, for example, Apocalyptica does it on their first albums, the way they play drum parts on cello is that they basically play the lower and higher note of a power chord corresponding to the harmony of the song. So either the bass and the fifth or the bass and the octave. And then you play the lower note so that it matches the bass drum, and the higher note so that it matches the snare drum. And basically you play something that gets the feel of what the drummer is doing, something like this. Okay, so in our case it can be something like this. Whatever you feel or whatever you hear played in the original version of the song. In my case, I prefer to play double stops for the higher note to get this snare a bit more punchy. So either you play a higher note for the double stop like this. So I'm playing the higher octave at the same time as the fifth with an open string. In this case, third finger on the G string, first finger on the D string. Another way is to play the lower notes, so like as if you had the bass drum and the snare at the same time. So here everything you have to do is just to bar these two strings and play them at the same time. What I like to do as well is to play thirds instead of fifths, here lower, because it matches a bit better the bass line and you don't get the impression that the drums are more important than the bass, because here the bass is really important. So it's something like this. Okay, so the difficulty here is that you have to change positions, so you're going like this. instead of having this E note played with third finger, you have to change to second position. And then from here on, it's just bar with the first finger. And to get this third GB, you have to play with the fourth finger on the C string and the first finger on the G string. So etc. Now for the melody, well, it's pretty easy. You have several ways to play it. Several fingerings are possible. First one would be this. It's pretty easy because you don't have to change positions at all, as you can see. Well, just you have to be careful because it's in third position. So you start with the fourth finger on the B note here, and it's in extended third position because you have here a full tone between first and second finger. I don't like this a lot because of this changing from D to A string, so I prefer to play with changing positions. So again, slowly. You start in first position on the A string, and here you change immediately to second position, so the D note is played with the second finger. And then back, and again, and for the last time, you stay here in first position, and you go to fourth position here with the first finger on the E note, and the way back. And for the bowing, well, you do whatever you want, whatever you feel that matches the lyrics. So for the second section, let's start with the bass again. So it has a pretty easy pattern. You can play it here again in different ways, different fingerings. First one is everything in first position and open G string. So third finger on the E note and open G string. I don't like it because you have the G much brighter than the E. So other way is to play everything on the C string. Two ways here. Either everything in second position. So you have the first finger on the E note and the fourth on the G note, and so that's one way. And another way, which might seem stupid, is to change every time from first to fourth position. But I like it because you have a slight slide between the notes and gives a nice feel. So that's it. Then for the drums, here the pattern is much more accurately defined, so I'm trying to mimic as closely as possible what is done by the drums. So again, power chords, so octaves and fifths. I start with this one. So octave with a string skipping, so be careful for the G string. Third finger on the C string, first on the D string, and then power chord on the G, D notes, so two open strings. And then you have this rhythm that I'm trying to mimic. that I'm trying to do here. You have some kicks that I'm doing also by doing the double stops. And be careful to start each group of 4 notes downwards, of course, so I'm getting the bow back when needed. Here I didn't need, and here I needed to get back to start the right way. And it finishes with this roll on the tom-toms downwards, so I'm trying to get this way. So beginning as usual. So again slowly, G string as usual open, and then I had this higher G octave, 4th finger on the D string. So again here, then open D string, then double stop G, D, open strings, and I finish with this D, G, so D 1st finger on the C string and G here. Here the guitar part is a bit more tricky, so first very basic thing that you can do when the guitar is playing here is some simple strumming. You play the chords, so the E minor chord here, 3rd finger on E and B on C and G strings, you have to bar those 2 strings, and 4th finger on the D string to get the higher G, and the G major chord, which is 2 open strings, and the 1st finger here on A string to get the D note. So so that's the easiest thing that you can do. And the other thing that you can do to mimic the guitar, which is much closer to what is actually played by the electric guitar, is much harder as well. So, how to play this? You start in the 3rd position. You have the 4th finger on the G string, E note, and 1st finger on the D string, extended position to have the G note, 3rd here, and then your 4th finger moves to the D string, have the G note, and 2nd finger on the A string to have the E note. So you switch from this 3rd here to this, and then you go back to 1st position, and it's then easier. Double stop here, barred 5th, E, B on the D and A string, then you put your 4th finger here to have the G, then open D string, then you get again this B here, and you finish with the 3rd D, and on the D string you have the G here, 4th finger, and the B on the A string, 1st finger. So something like this. Slowly, everything from the beginning. Okay, so this needs a bit more practice. The melody then is pretty easy again, and here everything in 1st position. So we start with the 1st finger on the A string, D note, 4th, open A string, and we finish here on the D string with the 4th finger on the G note. So, last section. Again, we start with the bass line, which here again is very easy. But I do not play it like this because I really feel like it's the highest point in intensity, so it has to be much more powerful and bassy as well. So I do not play it with the pizzicato, but with the bow, so that it's louder. And I also do not play this C note here, but I play it with an open C string so that it's lower, and I get something like this. So that's it for the bass. Drums again, just barred fifths, and I'm playing what the drummer plays. So just barred here first finger on A, E, and barred fourth finger on C and G. That's it. Well, for the guitar you do not have any clear pattern in the song, you just have this fuzzy chord that's a bit everywhere, some flanging effect or something. So what I do to recreate this on the cello is that I'm just C, E, and I do not change anything in the guitar part, it's just the bass that will give the harmony, and the guitar keeps these two notes steady. And to have this fuzzy flanging sound that the guitar has, I'm just playing very close to the bridge. And very broad bow, so you have a lot of harmonics that are picked up by this kind of playing. For the melody, well, here I suggest to play everything in first position. So, slowly, we start again, first finger on the A string, and then open A string and third finger on the D string. You have this string changing here. And if you have an additional cellist with you, you can also have someone playing the backing vocals. So you start with the third finger on the F sharp sound here, fourth position on the A string, and then you switch back to the second position with the fourth finger on the E note, and then first, fourth, second. A few more words about the guitar solo. So what I'm doing here in the guitar solo, which is basically the same thing that the first section, the few differences are that I'm playing the bass line with the bow so that it's more powerful. I'm also adding to the drum part another thing that is in my case played by the first cello, which mimics the fact that you have this crash cymbal played throughout the solo. So I'm playing this with a E harmonic on the A string. So here you have the first finger on the in fourth position, and instead of pressing the string, you just delicately put your finger on the string, and so this is like my way to make the crash cymbal. And also the difference between playing this melody when you are doing the lyrics and when you're doing the guitar solo, is that I'm again playing close to the bridge to get this distorted effect. and with lots of sliding. And if you want to be more accurate, actually there are two notes for the highest note. So I would suggest here the fingering in third position. You have here these two notes, so what I'm doing, I'm sliding to have the first finger in fifth position on the F sharp note, and here the third finger on the D note. And then back here, second finger, as we saw in the first section. So that's it. Now all you have to do is make your own arrangement, find some friends and enjoy, play and rock.